Hello! So you may have seen in the last video that I made, which I'm actually finishing up right now. I'm literally filming this right after I finished filming this part. I have a new green screen. And today in this sub video, I'm going to show you how to make one of these. First step, find a clean green sheet. Green is a hard color to find and stains are hard to get out of it. But don't worry, you can fix that up in post-production. Stay tuned for the rest of this episode and we will, sub-episode or whatever. I don't even know how I'm making these up right now. And I will show you how to make one of these for less than 20 bucks or so. And you can have a nice looking green screen and then go into your video editing software and put in a star field or cat videos. That'd be popular. I need to move more cat videos. So, here's what you're going to need for making a green screen. Sit. Stop. You're going to need four equally sized. You don't need a dog. You're going to need 4 equally sized PVC pipes. I used half an inch width and 4 feet long, making a 4-foot square screen. But if you need one that's smaller or larger, you can make it to any size you want. Just whatever size you get it cut to. If you need any larger, much larger than like 5 feet, you're going to need need to use bigger poles. You really like coming in here every single time that I do a video in here, don't you? Okay. And at that point, you may just want to consider just painting a wall instead of making this green screen. But for this, it works pretty well. And you're also going to need 4 of these elbow pieces. Both of the PVC pipe and the elbow pieces you can find at Home Depot, probably Lowe's or whatever place you go to for home supply stuff. And if you want to make it permanent, you can use rubber cement and put the rubber cement inside of it so that it stays permanent. But for this one, I like to detach it so I can take it apart so it doesn't end up taking up a lot of space. Velcro for holding the screen to the frame. I use this sticky back. It comes in these 3-foot long rolls, and which is really useful and actually pretty cost effective. I find this at Michael's, a craft store, but you can probably find it either online or maybe at a Hobby Lobby. I don't go there that often. I didn't find it at Joann Fabric. I'll look there too. And for cutting the Velcro, you're going to need a pair of scissors. The final component, and arguably the most important, is your fabric. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to be green despite the name green screen. It really just needs to be a color that you don't often wear, because otherwise your clothing will be chroma keyed out. Chroma key is the process that you use to delete the background of a video. So I used green because I don't wear a lot of green. You can either find this at a fabric store, like a craft store or Joann Fabric or whatever, or if you Or if you're making a larger one, it's going to be more difficult to find it. You may want to go to like a thrift store and find a bed sheet, just a blank bed sheet. If they have a green one, that'd be perfect. Otherwise, you can find a white one and just dye it whichever color you want. or white if you really never wear white, but white's a more difficult color to use because I'm so pale that it would just completely ruin it. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is work on the Velcro. Now, I've already used 2 of these 3-foot ones, and done 6 foot of Velcro. I'm going to show you how to do the rest. Gotta open up the Velcro. Put that somewhere else. Take off this little piece. Okay. Now I use the, I don't know how well this is going to pick up, but I use the hook part on the actual frame itself, and then the loop, the softer part, on my fabric, which you'll see in a minute. You gotta unroll it. Okay, as I said, I'd already cut 1 foot long sections, so I'm just gonna measure them against that. Basically, you're gonna want to keep them together because that way you'll also cut 1 foot off of the loop, and as well as the hook. I only knew these were called hook and loop because that's what all the non-Velcro people call them, because they can't legally use the word Velcro. So, okay, you try and flatten these out a little bit, and you're going to want them to, and after you cut it and stick it on here, you're going to want it to set for a while. It says like, I think 2 hours. I let it set for the majority of the day. Actually, it says adhesive reaches maximum strength after 24 hours. So I let it sit for a day, but as I said, I've already got these ones, which have been there for probably a week now. Now, with this one, I'm actually not going to cut. I'm going to cut 1 foot off, and then the other 2 feet I'm just going to leave together, so that so it just goes all the way nearer to the middle. Since I'm making such a large one, I need 16 feet of Velcro for this one thing, and that's a lot more expensive than I thought it would be. Okay, so I'm just going to measure it against this first one. And it doesn't and since you're using such a large amount, it doesn't really have to be super precise, because at the very least, a large enough amount will stick that it will hold. And it's not like it's holding something super heavy, it's just holding a piece of fabric for a little while. So I'm going to take the loop part and set that aside for right now. Then I'm going to take the hook and put it here on this piece of PVC pipe. Now you want to make sure that you leave about like half an inch or so off, the edge, because when you put this on, you don't want it to be going up against your Velcro, because this is a pretty snug fit by itself. Okay, so now make sure you're lining it up properly with this end, since you already have it going. As I said, it doesn't need to all be perfect, just close enough to perfect. Yeah, make sure to leave a good half inch or so from the ends, because you're going to be doing the ends the entire time, or you're going to be using the ends for these elbow pieces. Okay, I'm going to let that one sit for now. I'm going to take the other 2 feet, separate it from the loop, put the loop back aside off screen for now, take the plastic part off that's holding the adhesive. Again, line it up. Luckily this one's actually lined up with the words, which actually makes it a lot easier. If you have that option, make sure to try to do that. Okay, now you have your Velcro on your frame, which is a very important thing to do. Now you need to make sure that you need to take your fabric here and unfold it, or unroll it, or however you have it stored. Now, as you can see, I already have some of the some of the loop material on here. I have it on each of the corners at the right end. Basically this way it will still hold because there's right ends on, or there's stuff on both ends of each side. And it's actually stuck. That's how good it sticks. Okay, we're just going to deal with exclusively this end for right now. Basically, you're going to take smaller loop part and put out roughly where it needs to be. For this, you can use one of your poles. Just line it up. You can even stick it on with the end that's already done, or just line it up in general, because obviously at the beginning you don't have all these done. And make it straight. Make sure that it's roughly a right angle to the edge here, or to our unsticky portion. I forgot I'm doing it this way instead, so. That's that. And then just put it on, stick it to the hook part, or the part that's on the pole if you feel like using the loop instead. Peel off the plastic. Sooner or later this plastic's going to come off, I promise you. Okay. Working on it, there we go. Okay. I just now realized that it didn't actually show up properly. So, stick the Velcro to the other piece of Velcro, and then fold it onto and then just make sure to press down a little bit, and you've got yourself this. Now, you're going to let it sit for a few hours, but as I said, I've already done this, so I'm just going to take off. Be very careful at the first few times that you do this, because you don't want the Velcro to stick instead of the sticky part. You don't want the Velcro to stick to itself instead of the glue sticking to the portion that to the fabric. So, now we've got that, just repeat that on each side. And then let it sit for a while. A lot of waiting for glue to dry in this instance. Take these plastic, put them away. This is going to go away as well. Now, making the frame is a pretty simple process. Basically, all you do is you just put each of these at a proper angle to. I like to do it so that it's 90 degrees pointing up from the right, from this Velcro here. So that way, I'll know exactly where it needs to be. There's that one. And with this one, 90 degrees pointing up from the Velcro. It's hard to tell to see the Velcro because the Velcro is white and so is the PVC. Now just push it in snugly. And repeat. Rinse, wash, whip, repeat. With all 4 of your corner pieces. Now, if you want to, if you find these, I haven't been able to find them yet, but they make these tent pieces, which are 4-way, but it's in a right angle to other ones. Similar to these corner pieces, except they have 2 ones going this way. You can make a stand with any extra PVC you might have. I have the extra PVC, I just haven't been able to find these stand pieces yet, or these 10 pieces yet. I'll update the video. I'll probably make a new video when I find that. Basically now, all you really need to do is put the stand together, or put the screen together. And since we're not gluing this, it still doesn't have to be perfect because you can adjust them as needed before you actually put anything else on. And with a screen this large, it's actually quite a bit cumbersome. So you're probably not going to be able to see most of it on the screen. Actually, I just realized that I had way more space. Yeah. And of course, if you make a screen this large, you need a lot of space for it. Fabric can go out of the way for a minute. Okay, now you have a frame. Trust me, it's square. Then attaching the fabric to the frame is as simple as just lining up the Velcro properly. Now with this one, I actually have the Velcro on the back. So since the Velcro is facing up right now, this is actually the back of the screen facing up. But you can do it any other way you wish. Now I'm going to if my tripod will let me. There we go. Now I'm going to zoom in and focus on this corner right here. Fortunately, this specific piece of fabric is kind of dirty. For this specific frame, or set thing, you just fold up and around, and line up the Velcro, and press, and it'll stick. And if you didn't see that one, here's another one. This corner, just line up the Velcro, and stick. Now repeat that for all other corners, and you have a working, perfectly working screen. Just going to do a little cut, then I'll show you the finished product. And there you have it. One working green screen. All I did between these two cuts was attach the Velcro on the other side, just press it together, and flip the entire screen back over. So this is the front of the screen, and after this, you would probably want to continue on YouTube, since you're already on YouTube for this, and just search for chroma key and then whatever program you use. Using After Effects or what's that, Sony Vegas, Adobe Premiere, whichever one you use, just search for chroma key for that, and someone will have a tutorial, I promise you. Just make sure you have the proper version when you search for it to whatever version you have, because they change a lot from year to year. That's all for this episode, for this video. Make sure to click like, subscribe, all that stuff. And we will see you for the next time, when I promise the next video will be a video game. Have a good night.